Well, shalom, everybody. This is Dave from Universal Truth of Mankind, utom.org, Universal Truth of Mankind. I know I repeated that. I want to talk about our future a little bit. In the past, I've been doing videos on various aspects of the soul and how we connect with the soul, the importance of the soul, and a little bit of some methodology in which um, to connect to that soul and use it to better ourselves. But I want to hit on something a little different. This is going to take a little more time than I normally would do, but I want to put a little bit of a challenge out there for everybody. Now, it's not obvious to the news, the 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 um, the standard news out there. Their ratings are tanking. Uh, People are not trusting them. And I've noticed for years that they've been manipulating the information that they do present on their broadcasts. That's why I stopped listening to them 30 years ago. I wasn't interested in what the news had to say. And we have a great thing out there called the internet now. So, we can do our own research. We can look for our own information. Right, wrong, or indifferent, that's your right. Now, of course, they're trying to take that right away from us, and that's just plain wrong. People have to be permitted to think for themselves. Again, it's indifferent. I'm working in a profession that requires me to watch out for some of the rights of my clients, and as a result, if the client is their own guardian, which is called a self-guardian, I have to abide by their decision whether I agree with it or not. That's their right. Now, I'm not focusing on this, but I'm trying to set the premises that we have to make our own decisions. We have to sharpen up our thinking skills. We have to seek out truth. That's our job, our task. No one could do that for us. And unfortunately, there's a lot of people who are willing to do that for us, but they're doing a disservice when they do that. So, why am I bringing this up? Well, the reason I bring it up is because I believe, personally, from the indicators that I'm seeing, and I'm not going to divulge where, just from what I'm seeing, that we're going to end up going through a paradigm shift pretty soon. We're going to find out a lot of what we thought was true isn't, and a lot of what we've been told has been false. Politically, medically, legally, monetarily, anything you can think of, technology or technologically, we're going to find out that we've been lied to for years. All for control of our minds. We're in the middle of a war for control of minds right now. And unfortunately, we're stuck in the middle. Again, we got to think for ourselves. We can't let everyone else think for us. If you're wrong, you're wrong. If you're right, you're right. If you're half wrong, half right, you're half wrong, half right. That's okay. There's nothing wrong with it. But there is a certain amount of effort to use that guilt approach to change your mind or to be guided wherever the powers to be want you to be. And you're going to see a lot of, like I said, new information that's going to come out in time. I don't see how it's not going to happen. It's possible. But if I take a look at, from a Kabbalist standpoint of view, Zohar point of view, biblical point of view, we are in the period of desire for knowledge. And that's going to be fulfilled. We go from basic needs to wealth, power, and the powers to be right now want power, but it's forcing the people to come to a knowledge desire, a desire for knowledge, and hunger for knowledge, a thirst for knowledge. And we see that happening now. And that's going to transform our world in many, many ways. There's one more desire after that that we are evolving to. That's desire for God. We're not there yet. I'll talk about collectively. But right now, we're looking for a knowledge. We're looking to be a knowledge-based society. At one time, like I said, we took care of our basic needs. That would be food, water, shelter, and procreating. Then we wanted wealth. Wealth is, in a sense, food and water for more than a day. Assuring that I can provide my needs a week, a month, a year in advance. That's wealth, true wealth. Now, so I hear people say, oh yeah, well, I want money. No, you don't want money. You want what money can buy. You want money to produce a security in your life. So it's what it can buy. It's not money. You can't eat money. You can't drink money. There's needs that you have. Then, like I said, there's power. Power is controlling all of this at a communal level. Not just wealth for your personal needs, but then power. And then, like I said, the next phase is knowledge. We're moving into that knowledge area. Now, some people say, oh, we're getting spiritual. No, we're not getting spiritual. There are some, don't get me wrong. But we're moving into a desire for knowledge. We're hungry, we're thirsty. We want to know what's going on. We want to know if the news has been lying to us. We want to know if the medical establishment has been lying to us. We want to we want to know, are the economists lying to us? We want to know things. Now, I'm not saying that these things are necessarily lying to you. What I'm saying is, we want to verify what we're being told. It's like when you go to a doctor, how many here go, okay, doctor, give me the prescription. I'll take that drug. I'll do this. I'll do that. A lot of people do that. But more and more people are getting smart and saying, okay, doctor, what is it that I have? All right, let me write that down. And you want to prescribe such and such? All right, I want to take a look at the side effects to that. I also want to find out if there's any holistic things I can do or maybe dietary changes that I need to do. I had one doctor one time, I know a person talked about this to me. Said a doctor prescribed such and such medication for his condition. And the person calls them back a month later and said, shouldn't I be changing my diet? Oh yeah, that'd be a good idea. This is a doctor doing this. And so this person talked to a nutritionist and found out he had to change his diet. He changed his diet and made a world of difference. But the doctor is more interested in pushing a drug than knowing facts. So people are getting smarter and saying, okay, doctor, you're my consultant, not my boss. Let me research this. See, that's knowledge. We're getting to knowledge we want to know. We see this with Bible, with the church. We see this with Judaism. We see it with Islam and so on and so forth. Hinduism, where people are looking back and saying, I know what it says, but is that what it means? And they do research and find out, oh, did you know that 3,000 years ago they used to practice such and such, and it meant such and such? Oh, so the way you're interpreting is incorrect. So people are even religiously getting smarter. So this whole concept of knowledge is developing. Unfortunately, I see many people stuck into the power realm. They want power. We see this in the political elite. They want power, but the people want knowledge. So they're operating under an old paradigm. And there's a lot of people who also function on an old paradigm of thinking. They're thinking in terms of power. But the new people that are out there, many people are starting to think in terms of knowledge. So that's where we're heading. And my question is, are we ready for this? And I think many people are, but there's a lot of people who aren't. They're very happy being told what to think. But when we're fully within the, I'll call it a realm of evolution, of desire, of knowledge, then people are going to make their own decisions according to what they learn, not according to what the powers tell us to do. We see Trudeau in Canada. He's failing. I see it in the medical profession where people are doing their own research. I'm not in the medical profession. I happen to know people who are, but and I know people who interface with doctors. They have issues, physical issues that they need to take care of. But I'm seeing a lot of people waking up saying, I have to check this out. I'm not going to take everything you say and just do it. Because just to do it, because the doctor says so, means you're in a paradigm. You're looking for power. You're looking for the powers to tell you what to do. You go to a religion. Oh, the pastor tells you, the rabbi tells you, the imam tells you, and the priest tells you, and so on and so forth. They say, therefore I do. That's power paradigm. We're moving into the knowledge paradigm. So it's the knowledge that is becoming our aim. And it's going to transform society in a very big way. And I really believe we're in a precipice of this occurring. Next few years, probably. Where more and more and more people are going to be looking at the powers as being corrupt or too easily corrupt, and where knowledge provides a means to squelch or to ignore or to remove corruption. Now, one way that we can move ourselves into that more quickly is to listen to our soul. Our soul will guide us to that paradigm, that thought process. And I feel a lot of people are just starting out ready for this. That's why I'm discussing that here. So think about these things. Like I said, you have your basic needs. Your basic needs have to be taken care of. And like an animal will go to a spring and drink some water, or to a lake or a stream and drink some water, usually a stream. Something that's flowing is fresh water. So and food, they'll kill an animal to eat. And they got to eat it right away because it'll go bad. So they're taken care of for that day. What if it's a spring, literally a spring that shows up in spring, but it only lasts for the spring and then it dries up? That's where you want wealth, where you want a steady supply. And you say, I'm going to build a dam. I'm going to create a reservoir for water, or I'm going to move to a location where water flows year-round. And then you can say, wealth. How do I guarantee food for myself? Meat. Vegetables. You grow your vegetables. You will raise your own animals for food. That's a wealth. And then power. A bunch of you get together and say, well, I'm very good with iron, so I could be a blacksmith. Oh, I'm very good with leather. I become a tanner. I'll make leather products. Oh, I'm very good with digging wells. Okay. And so now you have a community, and that community has to be controlled, and that's when you will go to power. And now all these things are taken care of globally. Now we need knowledge, and that's what we're working towards. Eventually we'll go toward desire for the Creator. But we're moving into this knowledge thing. And even though we've had the internet for since 92, I think it was. I used to be on the internet before it was the internet, when it's part of DARPA. Even though it's been out for 20 some years, 25 years, whatever, the reality is that the potential power in it we don't realize. And this is why we see the powers to be, thinking politically, medically, and so on and so forth, are pushing for censorship and pushing for suppression of false information. Because who's going to tell you what's false? That's for you to determine, not others. They could be right, don't get me wrong on that. They could be right. But what if they're wrong? Don't you want to know about that too? So you have to make your own decisions. But we don't realize the power that the internet has. We don't realize the power of all the resources that are out there to transform us. So we're going to be moving into this realm, and we have to be prepared for it. So leave comments below. Tell me what your thoughts are, your ideas, and I hope this helps you all to prepare for our future, our near future. All right? Take care. Shalom, shalom.